everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Billy
and Sean,
and we're free to roam. Hey, this week's video, you're gonna see our frustration because imagine owning a brand new rig and not even having it for 24 hours when you break the bed.
And it's not even why you think.
It's not, but to be serious, we were pissed when this happened, so check out the video. So we bought our new rig in Katy, Texas, and we were on our way back up to Wyoming for the summer. We got to Dumas, Texas. We set up at an RV park and we went to open our slide, and you know, first of all, the slide had worked great when we were in
doing the walkthrough.
Katy at the walkthrough. We opened and closed the bedroom slide several times. It worked fine. So we got there and we started to open the bedroom slide so that we could you know, start putting stuff away and go to bed for the night. And I'm controlling the slide, Sean's watching in the bedroom, and all of a sudden we hear the most horrible noise.
Like splintering wood.
Wood just being
cracking
out of...
like something's getting... I first thought something was getting crushed.
Yeah.
And...
so Sean screamed, stop, stop! So I stopped.
Yeah. That was the bed frame pulling away from the slide wall.
Which, the bed was only secured to the slide wall by one screw on each side.
One screw on each side,
that's
and then...
We stopped everything. It was a mess because we still hadn't really got everything put away. We got the mattress, the heavy Brooklyn bedding mattress, off the bed and put it in our kitchen. We started to investigate, and this is when we figured out, first of all, the bed was very poorly built with staples and barely put together. It was crooked. It was a mess. Then we figured out that the wiring for the bedside chargers and the bedside outlets and the reading lights, all the wiring was between the bed frame and the slide wall, so about 2 inches, keeping the bed frame from actually being up against the wall.
The screws weren't really holding that well because the base of the frame couldn't go all the way flush with the wall. It was pinched, the conduit with the wire in it was pinched between
You'll see, I'll put
the
pictures
support
up.
and the wall. So it was already slanted and the screw was struggling to get all the way into the wall.
So initially we thought that's why the bed was falling off the rollers and getting stuck behind the rollers and being pulled off the wall.
Right.
So we called up our friend Joel from Great Adventure RV Repairs, and him and Sean tried to come up with a fix. You'll see in the video that they came up with a fix for that problem.
Okay, I think I have a good plan. Everything you said makes total sense. I can see where it's bound and all that. So I will get those issues corrected, and we'll push it back up to the front, and then I think we can be able to cinch it back down. My only concern is once I get it up to the wall, the rollers, it shouldn't fall off the rollers then after that. I wouldn't think.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
You know, and what you could do is you could put a screw in there and run the slide in and out just so it holds. Because when it is the slide, the bed attaches to the slide and it's supposed to roll over those rollers.
Right. There's nothing holding it to the floor except it just rolls over them.
Exactly.
That's what fucked up. It was so far off when it came all the way in, it fell off the roller, and then when we tried to pull it back, it just like
yeah, I got
pulled the screw out of the wall.
Exactly. So, and that's where what I'm saying is put a screw in there, bring the slide in, verify it's not going to come off your rollers.
Oh yeah.
Go back out.
Okay, perfect.
So,
I got it.
So where there's a 90-degree angle under the bed, that should be flush against the slide, right?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Once we get it where we need it to go, which basically
It's the wires.
squishing the cables is probably
What are
caused the
those?
whole
Are they
goddamn thing. It's
are
a
they the power cables for the okay?
I should be 12 volt to like the USB.
It's to the chargers.
If I'm not mistaken, they might have ran it up into the lights above the bed.
Probably.
That's how they used to run it.
Yeah,
Probably.
I can see there's 110 cable in here too. So
Okay. Yep. And that's the outlets on the side of the bed.
Yeah. Okay.
cool. All right, brother. Well,
You guys are
able to put a hole in to go through the panel, or just it's kind of a pain in the ass.
I'm gonna have to cut the corner out of them.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That's
that
fine.
even if once I pick him up, take this apart,
Yeah.
when it
you
goes
gotta
back
see the
together,
panel.
it'll have
Okay.
All right, my man. Well,
You guys are the best.
We're gonna go start screwing
In the bed.
the bed frame together.
Oh.
Tell Billy to calm down on that bed.
Okay, I will. Thanks again.
All right, man.
Yeah.
See ya.
All right. Beers on me.
Sean, what's going on? We left the dealership yesterday, got to our first spot, Dumas, Texas, on the way back to Wyoming to stop.
Starting to put a few things away.
Yeah.
Except,
went to open the bedroom slide and
I don't know if you can see on the video, but the cables for the power are pinched between where the bed frame should go against the wall and
the screws that were actually
wall.
in there holding it to the wall came out, of course, because you can see.
Because when the slide comes all the way in, that extra inch allowed the slide, the board that rolls on the slide under the bed, to fall off the roller. So then when we went to put it back out,
it was stuck.
It ripped again.
It was
tried
stuck
to rip itself off the wall.
And it was stuck behind the roller, so the slide wouldn't go out because it was off.
The slide would go out. It would just rip the bed frame off.
Yeah. We just called our favorite RV tech, Joel, with Great Adventure RV.
Yep.
And he and Sean came up with a plan. Because let me just tell you, I'm sorry, Alliance, but this is ridiculous. Ugly work. I've already emailed Alliance and left a voicemail with Alliance.
Of course, it's after hours. So.
Yeah. So what Sean's going to do is he's going to have to take the frame apart up there, route the wires through the frame so that we can get that board flush to the wall. And then we're going to get some angle brackets and some more screws, and we're going to put it back together so that we can maybe unpack. What you didn't see on the video is we had to lift this up and get it over the rollers. Sean held it up in the air while I slowly put the slide out so that it would go back on the rollers. Now we've got to put it back together so that won't happen again. So he's taken the bed top off so that we can do this. Our mattress is in our kitchen, which is ridiculous, and we're going to run to Walmart, get some stuff, right, honey?
Yep.
So what Sean had to do here is he had to cut holes in this panel to move the wires out from behind the bed frame. So now the bed frame can go all the way to the wall where it's supposed to. Before, we only had one screw holding.
There was one screw in this holding it to the wall on each
the
side.
outer wall on each side. Okay, and you did.
Now I have 3 on each side, 6, plus liquid nails in between the wood and the wall.
And you moved the wires, which helped it.
And I moved the wires instead of being pinched between the frame and the wall. I made a hole through the paneling so the wires could come in there unimpeded and not affect the frame going all the way to the wall.
And now the frame goes all the way to the wall. Okay, and now he's putting the bed back together because we had to rebuild our bed frame.
Yeah, but before I put it completely back together, we're going to run it in and out.
Make sure it
On the
works.
slide.
So we're still a little bit, we've got it all put back together and it's flush against the wall, but we're still a little worried about the left side because it feels like when we ran it out and back in, it feels like the roller is still going to come off the roller because we think that 2x2, what is it, a 2x2?
I got 1x2.
1x2. We
Skid,
think that the 1x2 skid is not long enough, and so it still acts like it wants to come off the roller. So,
And maybe it's supposed to, because there are rollers on the other side of the bed frame also. So when it drops down, then it's on the bed rollers. But it just seems like that block. There's a flat block that has to go onto a roller. And so as long as the frame doesn't pull away from the wall, it'll do that. It should
lift it up. But it's what Sean wants to do is maybe get a kind of a ramped
Yeah, I want to
piece of wood, so it kind of so it rolls up a little bit easier like a ramp instead of a square edge that has to lift up over it. It seems like it works harder to go up over it when it could have like a slanted piece of wood that it could roll up on. So, but it's late. We're tired, so we're putting it back together. I am taking lots of photos because Sean reinforced it. He doesn't want to have to worry about Alliance saying it's not under warranty because we did work to it, but it was ridiculous. You saw the pictures, you saw the videos, so we had to reinforce it. But we're getting ready to put the mattress back on because it's late, we're tired, and we want to go to bed. And I still haven't, I put some stuff away, but as you can see, my bathroom is still full. More on that later. Okay, so after, as you can see in the video, after Sean moved the wiring from between the bed and the wall, he actually had to cut a hole through the paneling so that he could put the wires
and
through
rebuild
there.
the frame because it had all been separated.
So then we tried to run the bed out and run it back in, and guess what happened? It got stuck, fell off the rollers, and pulled away from the wall again.
Now the frustrating part is that we still haven't fully moved into this rig, so we have stuff literally everywhere. So every time we have to move something, we have to move everything. So that wasn't the problem. So then we decided that the skid underneath the bed that was resting on the roller wasn't long enough. So Sean and Joel tried to come up with some kind of a plan to either extend the skid or create some kind of a ramp on the skid so that it would go up onto the roller easier when you went to bring the slide in and out. And that's why it initially worked, because when the bed frame was empty and there's no weight in the bed, it was able to hit the skid would hit the roller and ride up over it. But with any weight on it at all, it would hit the skid and then just stop
and pull out of the wall.
And pull away from the wall.
So then we came up with a plan, and we were going to go to Walmart or somewhere and try to find a piece of wood or something to extend that skid. So, okay.
So obviously, when you look under the bed frame, you cannot extend the skid unless you replace it with a longer piece, because it just goes into empty air from where it's at.
There's no way to attach something else to it.
Right. There's no way to attach something else to it. We realized that the actual roller,
not the roller on the bed, the roller on the floor.
The roller on the floor is too close, and it has to be extended away so that the bed frame and skid won't fall off the roller.
Because the bed frame has its own roller, so when it comes in, it rides on its own roller. But when you take the bed out, it's supposed to get on the roller on the floor and help it roll in.
Yeah, it basically stays on both.
But the roller was in the wrong place.
And that's why the skid would
fall off of
go over the roller and fall down.
So Sean and Joel came up with a plan to move the roller.
Yep.
So we went back to Walmart again, and we got all the supplies we needed.
And I disassembled the entire bed frame
again,
because you have to lift the bed frame up to get to the roller underneath it, and that was the fix.
So yeah, look at this. Okay, so honey, even though we re-secured the bed to the wall and we moved the wires so that the bed could go to the wall, we still had the same problem, which was what?
The rollers were in the wrong place.
So the bed still came off the rollers, and when we traveled and when we went to put it back out when we landed,
the skids hung up on the roller and pulled itself away from the wall again.
So what Sean has done is, can't see, but we moved the rollers. How far would you say? You moved the rollers out, what, 6 inches?
Probably.
In hopes that moving the slide in and out the bed will not come off the rollers and it'll function fine. But in doing that, what did you find that you're fixing right now?
Everything.
The bed was poorly built, the frame, so Sean is rebuilding.
I got all kinds of angle braces and new screws, and
Sean's rebuilding the bed frame just to secure it because it had staples and was poorly made. But that's what we're doing today. Full-time RV life, rebuilding our bed frame on our 2025 brand new rig. Okay, so as you can see, Sean moved the roller and it worked. We fixed it.
It's amazing when the bed frame doesn't fall off the roller that it just goes in and out like it's supposed to.
I think you actually had to do some of the work. We got it to work a little bit in Dumas, and then we finished our travels on to Wyoming, and you and Brody actually had to lift the bed up again.
And that was just brute force. We had to lift the bed as Billy ran the slide in, so we got it on the roller, and then she could continue.
And then we could continue just so that we could move. So we got it set up in Wyoming, got it fixed, and then, we realized that originally the roller was put in the wrong place. That's why it wasn't working. So Okay, so when we first got to Dumas, Texas, and we tried to run the bed out and we ran into the first problem, I immediately got on the phone and called Alliance, but it was Saturday, so they didn't answer, but I left a voicemail for the service department, and I also sent an email to the service department, because that's how you get the quickest response, is you email the service department. So it was Saturday. We knew nobody was going to get back to us until Monday at least, so we had to come up with a way to get this to work ourselves, because we were traveling and we needed a place to sleep, so we needed to get the slide back in and out. We like Alliance, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Alliance rigs are perfect, because they're just like any other brand of manufacturers. These rigs, they put them together the best they can, but you travel down the road and they literally go through a small earthquake every time you travel down the road. Yeah. So no rig is perfect. What we like about Alliance and why we chose Alliance is not because their rig is perfect compared to someone else's. It's because Alliance's, they stand by the fact that they do the right thing. When you have a problem, as everyone is going to, yes, it's how you're treated after the sale, and when you're an owner, that really makes the difference. And again, Alliance took care of us. We finally heard back from them on Monday, and come to find out, the roller being in the wrong place it's kind of a known issue. When that happens, it's almost always the same cause. Yes. So Alliance was nice enough to not hide the fact that this is a known problem. They didn't act like it was something else and try to blame it on us or anything. They admitted this is a known problem. They emailed me detailed instructions on how to move the roller and fix it. They offered to send a mobile technician out to do it for us if we didn't feel comfortable doing it. Right. But Sean felt comfortable enough doing it. Even in the email, it says that if there's any damage to your linoleum flooring, we will send the flooring people out and replace that for you. So they stood by the fact that this is their mistake, and they knew it, and they were willing to fix it. Luckily, we have RV technician friends, and we were able to just bounce ideas and make sure I understood what the problem was and how to get it fixed. And so Sean was able to fix it himself, thankfully. And you know, like I said, Alliance did the right thing. They offered to help. They offered to do whatever they could to help. And they didn't come back at me and say, not our problem, go to your dealer. They immediately answered our questions, answered our email, reached out to us to see if everything was okay afterwards. I mean, hands down, yes, I was pissed in the video because you get a new rig and you expect it to work, and it didn't. And we were tired, we were traveling. But you don't expect problems. You don't. But Monday came around and Alliance took care of us. So. Yep, absolutely. And that's why we stay. We still have a paradigm. Yeah, that's why we're still with Alliance. That's why we're part of the family. But you were able to fix the bed, and it works now fine. And you know, Sean actually secured it up, so it's probably way more secure than it ever was before. The bed frame is very sturdy. There's way more bracing in there, and all kinds of stuff. So it shouldn't go anywhere at this point. Okay, one more. I just want to give one more shout out to Joel and Tanya, because you know, Joel runs a business, Great Adventure RV Repairs. He's busy, and we called him and he answered. He dropped everything he was doing to help Sean walk through this. So we really appreciate all your help, Joel. Thank you so much for just being there and being willing to share your knowledge. I don't know how much beer or dinner it's going to cost me when I meet up with you again soon, but if you're watching this and you're in the South Dakota area, I'm going to put their card up here. Reach out to Joel at Great Adventure RV Repairs, and you need some help. Yeah, he's in the Custer area all summer into the fall, and he's the guy you want to talk to. Yeah, so check it out. Thanks for watching this video. I mean, you can see how frustrated we were in the video, and we want to come at you with real life stuff. We are not a fake RV channel that's going to show you only our good days, because we do have bad days. Yeah. And this is real, right? You travel in these rigs, we live in it full time. You can see in the video all of our stuff is in there because we live in this rig. So it was hard to move all of our stuff and get this fixed, but we were able to get it fixed. It's even harder for Billy to show you that, because she wants to, you know, I don't like you to see my clutter. Right. It's not cluttered now. When we do a tour of the rig, you'll see it's much better. But thanks for tuning in. I hope that this video shared some information with somebody else out there. If you learned something from this video, I am so happy, because that is ultimately our goal, right? Is to share our experiences if we can help somebody. And we just want to thank everybody who tuned in and watched this video. If you can, smash that like button. It helps us grow, and we're gonna do our best to put out stuff that we would enjoy if we were watching a video. And hey, leave a comment, leave us some feedback, you know, what you might like to see in the future, or if you've had problems with your rig. Okay, well, thanks for tuning in, you guys, and we appreciate your support. We'll bring you more adventures next week. So next Friday we'll have another video out. So as always,
Yeah, we're on our way to a cool destination.
Oh,
So
yes.
hit that subscribe button and you'll see where we're going next.
Yes. As always, you guys, travel safe and take care.
Bye.
Bye.